Siddharam, everybody. Welcome to tonight's satsang. Whether you're watching live or you're watching it on replay, let's begin this evening. As promised to everybody, I told you, for those of you that have been asking about a digmas, what it is and what is to be done and what is not to be done. There are many people are being told by elders and this one and that one that this is to be done and this is not to be done, and it is confusing a lot of people. Tonight, as a pundit, as a guru, I thought it was necessary that we sit together to do this type of satsang, to deal with these type of topics. Things to explain to you tonight and the following nights coming about Lord Vishnu and what is this adigmas for and what is the benefit to you. So, as we go forward, for those of you joining, please share the live at this time. Share the link so that friends and family would be able to take in this satsang with us. And please, as I am going on, if you have a question, please leave me a comment below. For those of you viewing from all over the world, please leave us a message telling us where you are, where you saw the satsang, so that everybody will know. Together, everybody, let's draw our hands as we begin tonight with mantras, as we get into our satsang. Let's think of Ganesh Baba first. Om Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam Kapet Jumbo Palachana Bhakshitam Umasutam Sho
Kavinashakarakam
Namami Viganeshwara Padapankajam Sarvamangalamangale Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri
Narayani Namostute.
Where you are sitting, with your eyes closed and your hands clasped. Dear Lord, I remember my Guru Mantra. Your Guru Mantra is a prayer that needs to be recited. And for plenty of people that just take it for granted, if it's not recited, it's useless, and then you forget it. And we don't want to forget it. So for those parents that have their children with us tonight, please, let's have all the children put their hands together. Let's practice. And let's say just 3 times. Let's say the Guru Mantra whilst I say my prayer, you say your prayer at home. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo
Maheshwara
Guru Sakshat
Param Brahma
Tasmai Shri
Guruve Namaha.
Now that you've done that, having said, remember what Guruji said? Guruji told you on the day of your christening, remember to say this prayer if 7 times, if 12 times, on a daily basis. Mental, manus prayer, mental prayer. So that prayer is growing within you as you are saying it. If you don't put in the energy, this will not blossom in your life. So everybody, children especially, and for those that are new to it, please remember, say your Guru Mantra. Let's pray to Lord Krsna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One more time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. This evening, as we begin our conversation together, it starts with a digmas. And what is a digmas? And what could be done during this time, predominantly, is our discourse tonight. Many people are saying, Pandit, I've heard that you could do stuff. What stuff? I don't know. Then I've heard, Pandit, I've heard that it's bad. Malmas. Bad month, Pandit, bad month. Very bad. So taboo that we shouldn't do worship. Something bad is coming. Very bad. Tonight we want to spend a little bit of time with that, and I hope you can listen tonight to this very simple discourse and then share it for the plenty people that need this help. They are losing an opportunity, believe it or not, as you will hear just a little bit. Before we venture into that, let's get ready to chant. For those that love Lord Krishna, love Lord Vishnu, this part, this prayer, is known as the Nanda Kumar Ashtakam. Nanda Kumar, the son of Nanda, an Ashtakam in praise of Lord Krishna. We'll do a couple of verses. Put your hands together, and as we get set to listen to our discourse tonight, Shravanam is the part of Bhakti Yoga, that part of yoga or spiritual practice where I'm using my listening capability. Somebody told me that, Pandit, COVID has come, the government is trying to close down the temple, and maybe we should close the temple. Do you agree with that? Leave me a comment below. Tell me what you think. I'm really fascinated by this comment, and I want to know your opinion. Do you agree with this person? But I don't agree with that at all. During these times, my own family, people that I do prayers for, people that I know, very dear and near people, friends, have contracted COVID close and far, Trinidad and outside. And it is not nice. They are not exaggerating when they are talking about the pain, the trouble. The doctor is as if he does not know, poor thing, what to do. They are learning as they are going, truthfully. And now we want to shut down prayers. The person was telling me, maybe we need to take a break. I don't know what you think about that. But devotees tonight, I'm telling you that Pandit Keshava is of the belief that we need to pray more during these times. Just a couple of verses. As we worship Lord Krishna, before we listen to his conversation with somebody, please clasp your hands together. And just for a little while, think of that blue boy, that boy with the flute. Put your mind on him. And let's hear what this stotra says. Vallabhacharya Muni is writing and singing for his Lord. O son, O baby, O son of Nand, please hear my prayer. Nan Sundara Gopalam Uravanamalam Nayana Vishalam Dukharam Vindravana Chandram Anandakandam Paramanandam Dharanidharam Vallabhagana Shamam Purnakamam Ata Abhiramam Pratikharam Brajananda Kumaram Sarva Sukha Haram Tattva Visharam Brahma Param. You who are the essence of joy and happiness. This is the last verse now, the last line of this verse. You who are Sarva Sukha Saram, you are all the happiness. You are my happiness. Tonight your devotee, ask you, O Dukkha Haram, the remover of suffering of your devotee. May you please remove the troubles that this devotee is facing. For those of you that are going through different types of hardships, please pray ardently. Sundara Vajira Vadanam Nirjita Madanam Ananda Sadhanam Mukutadharam Gunja Kirtaharam Vipana Viharam Parama Udharam Chiraharanam Valdapatapitam Krita Upavitam Karanavitaram Vibhodavaranam Bhajananda Kumaram Sarva Sukhasaram Tattva Visharam Brahma Param. May you, O Murari, O abode of joy, the one who always wears the peacock crown on his head, O the one who wears the mala that is made from gunj or gunja berries, you are my joy, you are the holder, you keep all the happiness that I have. Please give me happiness, give me joy. Let's do one last verse. Shobhita mukta dulalam yamuna kulalam nipata tulalam sukha taranam Mukta mandita dinum charita dinum varita vinum madhura suram valdavati vimalam shubhaparakamalam nakaruchiyamalam timiraharam bhajananda kumaram sarvasukaharam Tattva Vicharam Brahma Param. O Prabhu, you who wears the dust of the bank of the Yamuna, you who has the you are matchless in terms of adornment, because you wear the dust of these holy places are adorning on your skin. You are the giver of the joy of your devotee. May you please, O Prabhu, allow some of that dust that is on your body to be sprinkled my way, your devotee's way, so that I would be able to have your darshan, Prabhu. May you, O Sarva Sukhaharam, may you please hear my prayer tonight and bless me with happiness. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Tonight, as we get into our conversation, many people have been asking questions about adigmas. A few years ago, just to share one experience I had. Now I've read these things and I knew about it, and I remember I was doing ground puja at the time, and we were doing I believe it was Bhagavad, and plenty people, it was a Digmas time in that year, and plenty people wanted to know, well, how they doing Jag? Is a Digmas, is bad time, it's not good time. Tonight, before we explain these things, as now people are learning more and more about the Dharma, I want to highlight something. In our country, one of the facets that make us unique is that we are a mixing pot, a melting pot. And one of the things that we mix with is religion. However, as a Hindu, we do not recruit new members. In a different discourse, one day I'll read it for you. In a different discourse, it is believed that if a person has the karma, you are born in this dharma. And if you do not have the good karma, the punya, you are not born into such a home. So blessed is the individual that is given the opportunity to be in Sanatan Dharma or a Hindu home, as we would say. Sanatan, many people don't know when is Sanatan Dharma ki jai. Sanatan means everlasting, eternal Dharma, the true principle, the true follow, the true thing to follow. That is what that means. In local circles, as well as you see it very common in India now, many people are trying whether you call them evangelicals or people trying to convert Hindus to other religion. You see it in the Middle East, you see it in India, you see it throughout the world. What you have, my dear brothers and sisters, is not good enough. In Trinidad, we had it with the Presbyterian missionaries. If you want access to school, you have to join our way. If you want access to medical treatment, you have to join our way. If you want access to jobs, you have to join our way. And for those of our ancestors and family members, for want of a better life, a better quality of life in the healthcare system, they converted. People did convert. And that is the problem with poverty. Poverty means that I'm so desperate, I'll join, I'll become whatever you want me to become. I'll do whatever you say, Pandit, I'll do that. You want me to dress like that, I'll dress like that. You want me to look like that, I'll do that. You want me to stop eating a particular type of thing, I'll do that. Please save my child. Please take care of my child. Hinduism does not condemn and criticize other religions. And one night in this Yagna, I'll explain that. There's a discourse that explains that with Lord Vishnu, where he creates other religion. He says there's a reason for it. And I'll read that for you. During this Yagna, I want to open more and more, as I'm accustomed to it. Maybe somebody says, Baba, you should sing more bhajan. But dear brothers and sisters, let's be fair tonight. Between me and you, we have so many pundits. I'm a member, I'm a marriage officer of Divine Life, I'm a International Pundits Council member with Pandit Anand and those great pundits. There are many organizations in Trinidad and outside Trinidad. TV, radio, internet, now you can watch satsang on your phone. Wonderful. But there's a little problem. Don't ask the Hindu why they do what they do. If you ask a typical Hindu why they do it, well, Baba tell me to do it, my mother tell me to do it, he now tell me to do it. But I don't know why. Why do you bow like that? Why do you offer that? Why do you dress like that? I don't know. So, with that lack of knowledge, it left room for people to come into our circle and say, well, if you don't know, I can tell you that what you are doing there is garbage, simidimi, taboo. Throw away that and come and use my method. My method makes more sense. And when you use my method, you will find your way. And I'm promising you, you're going to hear the discourse about that. You just tune in, you'll hear. Lord Vishnu caters for that, believe it or not. In India today, President Modi only recently passed legislation that if you are evangelical, if you belong to whatever group, Islam, Christianity, you can no longer feed the poor, help the poor, do outreach clinics and all these wonderful things that people do. And in doing it, convert them. Make it like a prerequisite. Imagine somebody came to a poor village where you live and they said to you as a parent, in order for you to get the vaccine, in order for your children to eat tonight, you must sign up and join our club. I'm using that word, club. Become one of us, and then you will get these things. This is what happens in India up till today. People don't know. So desperate appearance, so downtrodden in poverty that they sign up. In Barpo, there are still remnants of Hindi, but the Bible in Hindi. There are different types of church with Hindi writing that were used as ploys to get to our people, to get at those that needed help, that needed maybe the government to step in and assist their quality of living, but that wasn't there. You know, there are people who say the indentured laborers, they had it easy. Slavery was bad, and slavery is bad, I'm not saying otherwise, but indentured laborship was not that easy either. People were sick. People who had horrible conditions. And for those people that were able to help, most of the time it came with a stipulation that you had to give up your beliefs and join my beliefs. So our people have grown in Trinidad generations with that, and in other Caribbean countries. Those of you in Suriname tonight, those of you in Guyana tonight looking on, Grenada, St. Vincent, in various groups. Tonight there's a group all the way in Tanzania that is under the pressure of a similar type of conversion. We have grown knowing, you know what? That don't make sense to me. That is garbage. That is taboo. You know that? Okay. Have you ever heard of Pitru Paksh? Pitru Paksh recently finished. And we live in a world today where people are basically doing Yagna, people are having puja, people are doing Shrad openly. Let's say prior to COVID, people would invite relatives, neighbors, families now, and they would have satsang 20, 30 years ago. For those of you older than me, senior people, let's be honest. Wasn't it true that 20, 30 years ago, oh, they're doing prayers for the dead, that the dead, bad time, you can't go outside? I remember as a child in junior sec, wanting to go and play on the road. Wanting to go and play on the road, and my grandmother would say, hello, you come inside. Come. It is 12 o'clock. Jambi hour. Jambi hour. Come inside and you have to cool off for half an hour. And then you could go back outside. People used to put all type of taboo, scare tactics. You can't lie. Dear, up to now I have neighbors. I did a video the other day with kush grass, and some of you saw it. If you haven't, it's there on my Facebook. Just scroll up, you'll see the video. I'm wearing a black curtain. The species, the genome of the kush grass. We discussed the features of the grass itself, so people will know what it is and what it is used for. I still have neighbors who think kush grass is dead people grass. But these are Hindus. And they encourage people, don't do that, don't use that. That is only for the dead. Do you fall in that category? Do you attack your own religion? Tonight I'm asking that question. Have you had any similar type conversation like what I'm saying here? Please leave a comment down at the bottom. Please tell us, talk it out. We need to know the truth. This is the problem. We don't know the truth. So whatever people tell us, we are going to believe. And people take that and they go. For those of you that are in the groups, in WhatsApp, and the various groups where I try to share information and keep in contact with people, we've been talking about Adigmas, what the astrologer is doing. When we have the difference, what is Adigmas? It's a month, a 13th month that comes every 3 years. It comes because the difference between the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. So the solar calendar, January to December. The normal calendar, what we are accustomed with. Lunar calendar is the Hindu calendar, month to month. And sometimes the Hindu calendar, just to use an example for children to understand and not to get too technical. Let's just say Diwali is 1 day this year and next year it might be 2 days. The difference in the length of time sometimes adds up at the end of every year. At the end of 3 years, it more or less gives you 30 days or a month. And this the word adig just means additional month. This additional month has benefit. It also has rules. Certain things can't be done in the month. And this is what we are going to hear tonight. Tonight I want to give you the truth. Tonight I am presenting to you in a very simple way for you to know the truth, for your benefit and blessing of your family. Maybe not anybody else, but just your family. Why we do what we do, or what can we do during this time. To be very clear. This is our purpose tonight. And I wanted to put it to the backdrop of the people that try to damn our religion. Do you see anybody else going into the Muslim faith and convincing followers of Islam, not the outsiders, the people inside the religion, that I think my own religion is wrong. I think my religion worships dead people. I think that is wrong and this is wrong. I don't like this part, I like this part. You don't see that in any other faith, and the reason is they maintain what they are, their identity. This is the backdrop to what I'm talking about, and this is why I'm doing these 5 nights of reading. One night I'm going to talk about the history of the fig tree. Many people use a fig tree, but they don't know why. One night I'm going to talk about the Parijat and Lord Krsna and other things. One night we're going to talk about the other religions and where it came from. All are going to be linked to Lord Krsna and Lord Vishnu, more or less. Tonight, as we get into it, we enter into Skandpura. Skandpura. For those of you who want to reference where I'm reading. In the previous chapters, he had just spoken about the merit, the power, the benefit of doing puja in the month of Vaishak, in the month of Kartik. What is the benefit of doing these things? What is the potency? What is the reward? And tonight, we're going to hear a little bit, an introductory amount of information concerning the Adigmas. Let's join together as Sanakumar and Vyas ji. Vyas is that person who writes Bhagavad Puran, and he is listening to 1 month, the various months, the benefit, Mrigashira, Vaishak, Kartik, and when all the months, all the benefit of all these months had been done, this is the last month to be discussed. Let's join together as we do this first verse. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Satkritaye Mrigashira Yatam Kartik Masya Yati Vaishak Mas Pratakalitam Bhagavan Vishnu Yati Kathaye Tam Savayata Satyadev Nam Sri Prasidyate Narayanaya Krishnaya. Come on everybody, help me sing out of it. Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki jai. He says, you have listened to me and you have answered. O Guruji, you have given all the information about the month of Vaishak, about the month of Mrigashira, about the month of Kartik. But now, dear Guru, may you please guide us. Guide us about a discourse about something called Purushottam Mass. What is Purushottam Mass? What is Adig Mass? I've heard these things, but I don't know what it is. May you please tell to us this. Vyas ji is somebody, age, long beard, very noble, very powerful person, a lot of knowledge. As I said, he is the person who had penned Bhagavad. Sanakumar, Sanatan, Sanandan, Sana are 4 brothers, very old souls, mind-born sons of Brahma. But they are looking like little boys. There are many discourses There are many discourses where we hear of them and where we see them. But in these forms, these little powerful souls are involved very intricately with many of our discourses, this being one of them. One brother speaks on behalf of all. Sanat Kumar says, may you please listen. Vyas Muni, you wish to hear about that month, may you please listen as we give you that discourse. And as he is extracting information, the old fella is listening to the little boy. And he says, by listening alone to the merit of this month, it destroys the sins, the past sins of a person. In different kalpa, in different past months, different people had asked similar type questions. We had heard this from the lips of Sri Ram just before he had returned to Vaikuntha. There were great sages, Brahma, Riddhi, Siddhi, many different types of souls were gathered there. And this conversation was given at that time. Another time where this had happened, the killer of the demon Mura, or the one who is called Murari, another name for Lord Krishna, he was asked the same question. He says, O Vyas, if you listen, we are only willing to give to you this information. He says it begins firstly when Lakshmi is asking Lord Vishnu about the said question you asked. Let's hear what happens. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, 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 Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Shri Ram Dware Lakshmi Tya Lakshmana Ye Pravasye Tam Ye Nata Tvijaye Yati Sharana Gyan Aur Ye Atam Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam. Oh, Shri Lakshmi Divya Ki Jai, Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki. Sitting in Vaikuntha, one day decides to question Lord Vishnu on the topic of each month that is there. What is to be done, what is not to be done. And she says to him, I have heard that in this month that is referred to as a Digmas, certain things are not to be done. It is a very inauspicious time, O Prabhu. Could you please tell me the truth behind this month? Lord Vishnu says, my dear one, Dan, charity, Snan, holy bath, Tapasya. Tapasya could be jap, Nitya karma, different type of undertakings, worship, devotion. Shraddha, there are different type of Shraddha. Shraddha, yes, we know 6 months, 1 year, and that is what most people know about. But there's also Nandi Mukh Shraddha, which is the prayer that is done before we have wedding. The annual Shraddha, when somebody dies in the family, and every year we want to do some type of Shraddha to benefit the departed one. Varshik Shraddha. Different type of this type of prayer where we are worshipping God on behalf of, for the benefit of the departed ones. If these things are performed according to the injunction, all shall gain unended happiness. Dan, Snan, Tapasya, Shraddha, these things are glorified by great amount of sages. Dear Lakshmi Mata, when performed at the proper time, proper place, however, or the special occasion. In holy places, a shrine or a region of holiness. Example, in a temple could be a shrine, in a place of holiness at the bank of a river. The increase of benefit of dawn or gifting is there whenever there is a full moon day, a new moon day, a Sankranti day. Sankranti day, when we're hearing about in January, when we have a Sankranti where we bathe with the till and all these different things. Sankranti is when in the morning it's maybe Gemini and in the evening it's Virgo. Your transit from one horoscope house into another. When there is eclipse and people are giving different types of dawn, there is great amount of merit. For this reason, isn't it when we have our Ashram or monthly Shram, when we're taking out the pinda, for example, and offering water whenever we have a deceased, isn't it we look for the Amawas day or the new moon day? This is one of the reasons why. Now, he says, whenever the fire is consecrated, dear Devi, gifts are given on the bank of the Ganga, Bhaskar Kshetra, Kurukshetra, Pushkar, Godavari, Gaya, these different types of tira, great amount of blessings. But if a person should do it in the presence of the nourishing shaligram, where the diya is lit on the tulsi plant, all these places are considered to be great tira. He says, just as you have asked these questions, one day Rukmani was asking Krishna when he was upon you about the same. He says, in his discourse, he gave great answers, great amount of explanation that would explain why the timing of prayer is important, associated to a digmas. He says, Devi, for the person, Lakshmi, for the person who wants to win you, then that person should not be complacent during the month of a digmas. For the person who does not, or that person who squanders the opportunity to do good, which is dan, charity, snan, bathing or having a spiritual bath, tapasya, doing some form of prayer for your own upbringing, own benefit, to lift yourself, as we were talking about japping the Guru mantra just now, or saying prayer, doing puja, doing hawan, or finding your dar, etc., or shrad, that type of God's worship, that is done for the benefit and the upliftment of our ancestors. If not done when auspicious times are there, it is as if this person who is given all the opportunities in this world and is unmindful of the tirat or the parva, the auspicious moments, special occasions, this person is as if he has the human form, but he's clad in old, dirty clothes. He's very unlucky, becomes foolish, sluggish, and soon becomes very sickly. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. He says, Devi, please listen. To prevent the sickness, the sluggish, lethargic ways that bring about bad luck, if a person should just listen to the words of Krishna in this coming discourse, they will be able to better themselves and free themselves from all types of problems and troubles. He says at one point, Rukmini and Krishna remained by themselves, away from everybody. And in this solitude, in this quiet, as Krishna's eyes was closed, lost in the thoughts of the universe, Rukmini, who is a little more jujuri, she wants to ask him, but she's waiting for the right moment. And when he had opened his eyes just to look at her, she says, Prabhu, I have a question for you. Can I ask you a question? She says, could you tell me by what yoga By what practice? For a person that wants to gain great amount of merit, is a person able to make you very happy? What can a person do to gain great amount of punya, blessings, goodness, blessings, grace, good luck? And now he's going to reply to her. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, 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 Jai Samba
Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam,
Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tava Sharanam, Samudra Ye Malamasyatam, Ye Adikadwara Ye Ati, Yathayate Avandikatam, Satyakara Ye Kriye Ati, Jai Bhole Baba Tava Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tava Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Vindravan Bihari Ki Jai. For anybody that's viewing, could you just send us a message? Are you hearing me properly? I just want to make sure you could hear me before we continue. Just send me a message confirming that yes, Baba, we can hear, or if you can't, so we will know. He says to her, Lord Krishna is speaking, and he says to her that in the month that is referred to as Malamas, when it arrives, if a person does not observe vrat, or a person does not upkeep some form of ritual, vrat, puja, nitya karma, however you want to call it, that person, first thing, is going to be pestered by poverty in the course of this birth, in the course of the next. Malmas, this missing month, additional month, adigmas, is something that is not there every year, every month, or even every day. For this reason, dear Rukmini, it is very rare. A person is not assured to live to see this period. Rukmini says, Prabhu, well then tell me a little more about Malamas. What has to happen for it to come? When it comes, what should a person do? And tell me, what is the benefit? Who has benefited from this? Krishna says to her, it is very relevant what you have asked, that many people will benefit from this type of question. Tonight, as you are listening, as I'm about to reveal this part, please take the time just to share this live, share the video so that more people could see. A question like this is very proper for this type of occasion. All rites that are considered to be performed during this time, any type of worship for the Pitras, for the Devtas, they should be performed according to verse 19 to 21 of chapter 61 of Skandra. These types of injunctions should be done with the guiding of Pandit and so Gurus in this month. However, the cutting of the hair, Mundan Sanskar, wearing of Janev, wedding, these type, going into homes, moving into homes, first Griha Pravesh, blessing of homes, these things should not be done. So, did you hear that? Please remember that. This is not a time for wedding. This is not a time for sanskars. It is not a time to buy property, to bless the first household. No, it's not the time for that. But for your own benefit, your personal prayer. When you hear somebody say Nitya Karma, it means your personal puja. This is a time for that. At the end of every 3 years appears a moon where there is no Sankranti. There is no transition with the sun from one star, from one Rasi house to another Rasi house. And this month is called Adig Mas. It means, Adig means an additional Mas, meaning month. In the form of Purushottam, I am the presiding Devta of Adig Mas. She says, Prabhu, how did you come to be? How did this month, of all the months, why did you choose this month? In a different section of Skand Puran, part of Padma Puran, there was a meeting in Vaikuntha. Lord Vishnu is there and all the months have taken human-like form, Devta forms. And each month, Kartik, Vaishak, Margashira, everybody has a Devta assigned to that month, that is associated with that month. This Malamas, Adig Mas takes a form and he says, Prabhu, Vaikuntapati, no Devta wants to sit in my month. People will not do worship Prabhu because there is no Devta, there is no benefit, there is no punyam to doing anything in my month. Lord Vishnu says, why is this so? He says, well, I only come once every 3 years. And no Devta wants to be worshipped every 3 years. So I am barren, I am without a Devta. I am without a presiding deity, as it were. Please help me. Lord Vishnu says, I, in the form of Purushottam, will become the presiding Devta of your month. Purushottam Mas, the month of Lord Krsna, in that form, Purushottam. Tomorrow night I'll talk on what is Purushottam. I'll explain. He says, I always am the presiding Devta of this Adig Mas. I am always in this month. This is a special month for me. And if a person should come in this month to do Tirat, to go to different places where I am adored, my birthplace, Kurukshetra, other places. In Trinidad, you would go to places where there's a peepal tree, where there's a shaligram being worshipped, maybe by the Baba home, or if you have that discipline to maintain a shaligram at your home, that place becomes worshipable. Believe it or not, he says, and we do it on last night in the Bhagavad Gita Mahatyam, he says, wherever this is kept, I come there, I live there, I am there. All the Devtas come there. So where this Bhagavad Gita is placed, it is so potent that a temple or your home could be transformed to a place that is equivalent to Vaikuntha. That is equivalent to a place of worship, a place of Tirat. He says, in this place, he says, there is never anything that I could not give a person who does worship in this month of mine. O dear one, O Rukmani, those living beings that take bath during this month, just going and having bath, for those of you that have been taking the basma, the ashes from your Havan Kund, after doing Gayatri Jap and doing different type of Havan, and then taking some of that basma and putting it on your body and having your bath. For those of you that are accustomed doing Purushottam Mas, birth, this is what he is talking about. He says wealth, grain, sons, daughters, wives, people that want to get married, people that don't have peace in their home, people that want job.
He says, perpetual happiness I'm going to give to those people if only they do this bathing ceremony in this month. Even when there is no solar movement or solar transition, one should perform all vrat with me in mind. So the person who, somebody asked me if I'm doing the Ganesh Chout vrat, meaning I started this Jayanti, this Ganesh Jayanti this year, and I'm going on to next year. There are people who are praying for children and they are doing Shashti vrat on the 6th day of each fortnight, dark night and bright night. These people get up early in the morning and they are doing Shashti mantra, beach mantra with kheer, let's say sweet rice. And Baba, what do we do now that a big mass is here? It's a fair question. These are the questions that people need to get the answer to. So this is why I'm reminding you, if you have a question, send me a comment, send me something, send me it. Don't sit there and hold your question. Feel free. I am making the time and the effort to answer some of these questions. And this is why I'm asking you to share it as well, so people will get to see. Imagine if a person missed Shivratri. There was this girl, all due respect to everybody, her belly was unclean at the time of Shivratri. And she says, is there anything I could do to still catch the benefit of Shivratri? Shiv Puran describes there's a vrat called Nil Jal Vrat, where on the Monday from sunrise to sunset, every Monday from that Shivratri that she missed to the next Shivratri, the person abstains from water, eating, etc. and does Lord Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya, not counting but just constantly chanting, doing whatever they have to do, obviously, but they spend the day in Lord Shiva's thoughts, or with Lord Shiva in their thoughts, sorry. And she called and she says, Baba, a big mass is coming. Do I break my fast? And this is the question. Do I break my fast? Do I break my vrat? Do I change my plan? And the answer to everybody that had sent me these questions, Shirley from Tacarigua, Dean from Sandy Grande, I'm speaking to you straight. Those of you in New York, some of you from Florida, and the set from Italy. No, the answer to your question is no. For those people that hold, even in this month when there is no solar transition, they hold their vrat with me in mind. I, in the form of Purushottam, am the presiding Devta. I am present. Therefore, what you cannot offer to me. Therefore, do your prayer. In this way, people that are doing their personal prayer, Nitya Karma, and they are undergoing offering of dar, lighting their diya, offering flowers by their murti, please do not be guided and swayed by others, as I was saying in my introduction. For those people that would like to make our religion feel as if it does not have the knowledge, it does not have benefit. No, my dear friends, people polluted our religion when our stuff was lost in language, because now younger pundits, myself and younger than myself, are getting books, the genuine book, not the Google Baba, not the Google Baba, not the person who only goes on their phone and they're pulling information from wherever. The camera lady laughing. The person who is reading from genuine scripture, so that you can reference what you are teaching people's children. Now that we have it and it is available, now we are giving it out. No longer are pundits keeping information. I think we've entered into a time, everybody will agree with me, this year in particular is evidence of that. Things have to change. Things have to be different. And if we don't change and make the changes that we need to happen, we're going to be lost. So gone are those days when people should come into our way and ill-speak our dharma. I don't know about the Digmas, Baba. You know what? You have to share that information. You know. Baba, you don't know the answer to my question. Baba, I feel you need to go and find out and come back. Because we need to know what we're doing. And then you're on the right path. Then you are going to know the face of God. Please help me, just as in intermission, just as a point. If I'm praying in front, you know what we do? We dress properly. We get the best. Let's just say this is a murti, nice sun. best murti. I want marble murti Baba in my home. And you close your eyes and you pray in front of your murti, but I don't know why I'm praying to this fella. I'm putting it in a way because a child asked me, why is it important to sit in front of a murti and pray? And imagine, and I thought, there may be many adults that have similar type question. Imagine I'm sitting like a machine in front of a murti. And Baba's doing the prayers, the best Baba come, the TV and the radio and everything. I have the best parsad. I don't like patch parsad, Baba. I only like cream of wheat parsad, and then I have the people who say otherwise. I have the best parsad, right? I don't have laddu, Baba. That's so last year. For my goddaughters from Takari who are watching me tonight. That is so last year, Baba. We have modak, Baba. Alright? You are the best. You have the best parsad. I'll get that. Are you the best? Think about you. Follow me. Follow me. Don't let me know. Say focus. Come back. If this is God here, and I'm sitting to pray, but I don't know nothing about my God, am I talking to you tonight? You have to know yourself. Don't hide. You see, the benefit of this is I'm talking directly to you. You are watching me on your phone. When we're in satsang, and we're doing with the whole crowd in the temple tonight, we're in the whole crowd, but then maybe Baba talking to Darius, or you're talking to Priya, or you're talking to Avi, but here talking to me. Here know what I know and what me I know, but you know, friend. And it's time for me to get serious. It's time for me to do it the right way. If you don't know, listen tonight. During this time, this is a time for us to focus with our prayer. This is about growing you, the energy inside of you. When you are talking about sickness, when you are talking about the troubles that you are facing, things don't disappear. Bad and hard and troubles don't disappear like that. It takes energy, it takes effort. And this is what he's talking about. He says, as the Lord of Adigmas, if great people perform the bathing ritual, bathing with what? What? The different leaves, kush grass, tulsi leaf. There is prayer where when people are sick, when we have bath, when girls make baby. How wonderful. Some people are asking some questions about the procedure. I'm going to post the procedure in this month, this time. I have it and I'm ready to guide everybody what to do. 6 days, 12 days. You'll see it and we'll discuss it as we go. I'll post it tonight when we finish. Those type of bath. There's bath when people have different type of spiritual trouble. Spiritual trouble. A nice way of saying what? Zombie following me. For children tonight, I'm saying it like that, right? So adults, bear with me. I'm saying it for children to catch me. Zombie, ghost, boot, whatever you're talking about. There is a method where you take the root of the bale tree. You boil the root, you have the water. So now we're going to do Havan with pieces of bale root, and you use your powerful mantras. Let's just say Gayatri tonight. Guru mantra is another one that you could use. There are also prayers to Nursing Baba. For those of you that know what I'm talking about, you use those type of offerings. Ghee mixed together with honey, and you burn it on that type of wood. Then you take some of that ashes, mix it together with the boiled bay root water, and you go to have your bath. And this is one method of in the bathing process where you rid yourself of the zombie, the boot, the bad, etc. He says when excellent people have the bathing exercise, gift giving, practice of jap, homa or havan, reading of the Ved and other Upanishad, Puranas, etc., Upapuran, so on. Pitra offerings, worship to the devatas. At the various Sandhya point, dusk, midday, dawn, everything is certainly going to be beneficial and everlasting. If out of negligence, if out of laziness, the month of Malmas comes, Rukmini, and it is void of any type of sacred acts, then that person is, what is the reaction? You know, for every action there's a reaction. Not one sacred act. A sacred act could be, say, my morning prayer, lighting a diya, saying a prayer, Gayatri mantra when you're having your bath. As a Hindu, what do? Having your bath means I'm cleansing myself before I go to do anything like lighting diya or offering dal. You say prayers while you're bathing. But when you go by the puja, when you go by the prayer, the Baba is bathing you with water. Oh ma, pavitra, pavitra, and throwing water on you. Dear friends, look at any religious movie, and the first step to the puja is people go to the river to have bath. When the demon wants to destroy Hanuman, when he's going to bring the Sajivan herb, the last act of Ravan to block him, to destroy Lakshmana, he sends a demon to take a disguise to distract him. And he says, oh, I want to tell you about the glories of Ram. Go and have your morning bath. And Hanumanji went into the water. Do you remember that? If you remember, please indicate in the comments below. Send me something. Come on. Be interactive. And whilst he's bathing in that water now, an alligator comes to take his life. And when he destroys the alligator, the Jew that comes out of the alligator says, whilst you are having your morning bath, I came to destroy you. That person that is guiding you, that person that is dressed as a guru, that person is a demon. Oh Hanuman, be guided. In all our prayers, it begins with a morning bath. And this bath becomes spiritual. None of our texts talk about using dial soap or blue soap or any type of soap. It talks about the prayers that you say when you have the bath. So if maybe you're doing it wrong, maybe what you need to do is when you are having your bath, say Gayatri Japa. That's a secret. Say the Gayatri mantra 3 times, 7 times, whatever have you. And let that purifying water be charged with the power of prayer when you're having your bath. Vrindavan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. All these type of positive acts, if they are negligent, then the person is always going to be afflicted by poverty. Their grief and their illness will only increase because you have neglected to worship me in this month. When a Dik Maas arrives, a person should observe Vrat in the best mindset. There are people that do prayer because mommy said I have to do it. It have any children tonight watching by chance with that problem? It have anybody that is doing it because somebody have a gun there and they tell them, well, we going to do it in the house, so you have no choice, you got to do it too. Alright? I'm doing my prayers, but I'm doing it under duress, Baba. No, a person should do worship in this month, as Sayam Charandas would tell me. Do it with a good mind. Do it with a good mind. Do it because I want to do it. And this is maybe for me personally, this is one of the reasons why I did not read this course before. Many times, because of how our Hindu brothers and sisters are pressured during in this country, this is not a Hindu country. In fact, when you go to fill out documents in many government offices, let's be honest, according to the Constitution, we have the freedom of religion. However, when you still go to government offices and places where you have to fill out forms, it is quite common, let's say 50 years ago, and till this date, what is your Christian name? In some places, Christian name was transformed into your given name. But this is just an example of how Christianity was forced on other people. So if my Christian name is Keshava, that's my Christian name. In the name of Christ, that is my name. There are many examples of this. In Trinidad, for example, another example of how there's a difference. And I'm raising it so that we could have awareness. I'm a marriage officer. I've been doing weddings for many years. Legally. That is not spiritually, legally. And till this day, if somebody says, Baba, prior to COVID, that is, COVID made it longer to get his certificate. Baba, I want to get my certificate, quickly. I don't know if you ever had this experience. I would like to get my paperwork done quickly. In Trinidad, if you are Muslim, if you are Hindu, it'll take a little while. Let's say a month, maybe minimum. When I did my Gyan prayer, we waited for a year to get back our certificate. But in the Christian line, we will get it back in 3 days. There is a difference, believe it or not. The people that work in those sections, in those areas, might know more than me. I'm just a normal layman, but that is the reality we live in. I have never filled out a form where they've asked for a Hindu name, for example. So the Hindu that is in Trinidad has been taught that our stuff is less than. Just as in days where people were ashamed to eat their roti. It wasn't cool, it wasn't popular, it wasn't the thing to eat roti. And we were taught that our dress and our clothes and our language men will not wear dhoti to at least hear the prayer. One day I was flying and I was coming home and I'll be honest with you, I'm talking to you. Laziness. To take off my dhoti to put on a jeans. I go on in the airport with my dhoti and everybody was normal. The foreigners, the Americans, the white people, they're okay, normal. Then I met 1 or 2 Indian Sikh people. And to my pleasant surprise, and I'm asking this in a question, I met one of my shishya, my chela, who was working in the airport. I didn't know. Hey Babs, what's going on, what's going on? No, sit down, no, nothing different, but hey, how you going, hi, how you going? And without warning, the person bent and touched foot as normal. If you saw your groom, tonight I'm asking you a question, groom, dhoti or jeans, walking in the mall, playing on the beach, wherever, whatever, would you bow to your guru? Touching the guru's feet, your parents' feet, would you believe that is listed as one of the holy acts that is to be done in this month? Simple as that, nothing hard. Why? The dust of these people's feet, because they are constantly chanting the Gayatri Japa, the mantra. As parents should be examples for their children. Parents that expect children to have good behavior now should be the parents that are instilling good behavior because of the example at home. So if I don't drink rum, God willing, my son will not drink rum. If I say prayers, maybe my child will watch me like Tulsi Mata, watch me and see what I do and emulate what I do. But the unfortunate thing is we have a situation where people live by different rules. Do as I say and not as I do. When people during this time offer all forms of fruit with a good heart, whether it is to touch the feet of your guru, whether it is to do worship and to carry yourself with that pride, that I am going to offer my dar and have my jandi flying, make a mala for my murti, in whatever example. In Trinidad, we were taught ours was less than, so we had to hide. It was something to be ashamed of. So it becomes a little troublesome. Only now, the younger generations are wearing t-shirts with Ganesh Baba. You see people going to tattoo shops and getting tattoos in Sanskrit and pictures of devatas on their body. Whether you want to get a tattoo or not, that's a different story. That's a different thing. I'm not saying you get a tattoo. I'm just saying it is popular. People want to wear the raksha and the different bracelets. Jewelry has this language of our people. People are showing a revitalization. People are wearing their Indian clothes and their bindi and everything. More and more, as the pride of Hinduism is more evident. Do you see it around you? Is it evident in your home? Are you a proud Hindu? Or are you a person who is ashamed of your Hinduism? You tell me. He says when a person does worship, does their vrat during this month with a good heart, with good intention, undoubtedly, Rukmani, I give to that person prosperity, wealth, health, you name it, I give it to them. Prosperity is not always money. Be very clear. Prosperity to a lady could be happiness and peace in a home. Prosperity to the person who is, the insomnia, maybe a good night's rest. For all the diabetics out there, prosperity could be one night without neuropathy or neuropathic pain. For the blind person, prosperity might be a glimmer of vision. For the young person tonight who have skin problems, doing Surya Jal, during this month, there's special prayer to help with major and minor skin problems. But if the person should worship Surya Dev using fresh, grated or ground saffron, hardi, what we call locally Trinidad hardi, and you mix it, let's say in the dark or in the water, and you offer this fresh hardi with your flowers, down the rice where it is still in the pot, and you offer with prayer to Surya Dev in the person who has skin blemishes, that too will pass. With my favor, O Rukmani, there is no form of benefit or pleasure that a person is praying for that is not possible when they do worship in my month. Even if it is a small gift or charity, even if it is a little seva or a little help, kindness, whatever is done in this month, great amount of favor is going to come their way. So it is encouraged. And this is what parents tonight, I am asking you, what do you encourage your children? Good morning, good evening, good night. Are we too far from those days? Being kind? Or are they the type to see the dog and want to throw gasoline on the dog and light up the dog like we see some monsters doing on social media? Do you teach your children to be kind? They see an old lady going across the road, hold the lady hand and gently, carefully, like their own mother or grandmother with a heart, help the person across the road. Do we talk about this in our homes? No? What do you talk about? That might be a different job. Blessed is the person who is able, O Rukmani, to listen to the vrat, to the benefit of this Adhik Maas. He says, Dear Devi, please listen. In this month when there's no solar transit, those people who are desirous of increasing or benefiting themselves, increasing or benefiting their welfare, this vrat destroys all the grief, all the sickness, all types of trouble. At the end of every 3 years, when the month of Ashram is there, this month is going to come, and on the 8th day or the Ashtami day, the Navami day, the Chaturdasi day, in this month, whatever type of charity is given, whatever, big, small, minor, major, on these meritorious days, great days, in the morning time, lunch time, or in the forenoon time, different type of benefits are going to be there for such a person. A person should remember, when doing these things, to remember Krishna, Vasudeva. How? Krishna Arpan. In his name, I give it. So, whatever you are doing, do it with him. You should fast. If you have to eat because you are hypertensive or diabetic or in any way because of the tablets you are on, limit yourself to a meal, lunchtime, and allow yourself, meaning with salt, so that you will be able to have something in your stomach so that the medicine would feed on it, and you would not have, you're not overeating. You would not have cramping and so on. A person should invite Guruji, Guruma, or the wife of the Guru. Brahmanas should come to your home. People with good conduct should be invited. Noble people. And then at the midday hour, when Vishnu, who is always together with Lakshmi, is there, prayer could be done. During this time, I am invited to sit, O Rukmini, in a kalash, and in the kalsa, I am asked to sit there with the coconut and the mango leaf, just like what you see in the Satyanarayana Piti. In that piti, in that form, in the coconut and the kalsa, worship, cinder, saffron, flowers, all these things are going to be done. The coconut is wrapped with a piece of yellow cloth, very similar for those people that do the vrat for the Navratri with the coconut on the kalsa, very similar to that. But when you are doing this prayer, it is not done only for your pitras or you. When you are doing this, my dear child, all those people that are in your line or gotra, meaning we all come from the Sapta Rishi, different lineage, and for each person and their gotra going all the way back up, benefit from this type of prayer. Panch Amrit, Naived consisting of different types of sweet, different types of light, different types of incense, yellow silk cloth is offered to Krishna. Arti is given where the waving of the light is being offered. Offering of camphor in the tambul form, offerings of what we call guggle or the gum of the tree, sandal paste, sandalwood. Sandalwood is burnt and the smoke is allowed to hit this murti that we have created here. Mridanga and different types of bells and drums are sounded, chanting of God's name. And all these things are offered. Puffed rice, flowers, all held in a copper lota. And now we're going to offer at the end of the prayer, we're going to offer this little bit of water on the coconut in the puja. In this lota, a person, maybe father and mother together with children, is touching together. They put some different type of gems. When people are doing installation of different murti, different type of yagna, somebody had asked me, what do we put under the murti? And one of the things is different type of gem. Different gem is used, I'll explain that another night, where the gem had originated from the blood of a muni. The muni got cut, and as his blood was dropping upon the earth in a nutshell, some were red, some were green, some were different colors, but it is explaining why it ended up as ore in the earth. And that comes to be where we were talking about, for those of you that were following when I was talking about the blood coral stone that Mangalit people or people that have Mangal dosh, the ring that they use. Why do we wear those different rings? You go in the trade show and you will see these people wearing different color rings, pearl and garnet and different type, so that the sun is going to hit it, magnify the ray and let it shoot through your body to protect you from bad. That muni originated what we call gemology, or the studies of gem. Here now, the gem again comes to play. And as you offer the dara and the coconut as the last part, the person letting their knees in the posture of where your knees are on the ground and your hands are clasped together, the person is going to make prayer. Let's chant a couple of these prayer now. Please clasp your hands together. Devotees tonight, as Lord Krishna is telling Rukmani, I'm going to fast forward to the part where you were feeding him. He's talking about you feeding me. Some of these mantras we would have heard it, some of them they are new. But tonight where you are, just take a second and close your eyes. Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhukaitava Bhari Bhaktanukampe Bhagavan Murare Traivashamanga Keshava Purushottama Lokanatha Govinda Damodara Madhavati Om Vayam Tvam Samuro Vyagam Tvam Bhajanno Vyaganta Jagat Shakti Rupam Namayaham Sadekam Nidhakam Niralambe Bhavam Bodhi Potnam Sharanam Braja Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya Govinda Govinda He Murari Govinda Govinda He Murari Govinda Kunda Krishna Govinda Kunda Krishna Govinda Govinda Ratangapane Shri Krishna Kundaya Namostute Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Narayana Vasudeva Gopala Gopala Devaki Nandana
Gopala
Bhojan jo tumaye pavitra Dodun ye sunde nath Vaikundabati Rajan aur prapti ye malmasa Ye tum praja ye nath Katahe kathum bore Ye murari he nath Krishna he Govinda Devaki Sundara Gopala Devaki Sundara Gopala Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath. Everybody. Narayana Vasudeva. Vindravan Vihari Lala Ki Jai. He says, hold your lota. Hold your lota. The book here doesn't say the word dar. It says arga, which is the same thing. That's a different word. Not to be confused by it. He says, oh Lord, pray. Oh merciful Lord, you who grant Kripa Raj. Kripa Raj means you are the king of mercy. Kripa means mercy. Oh, the cause of the delight, the happiness of this universe rests in you. Please accept this dar, this lota that I was describing, the copper lota that has the different ingredients. A person touch away. Let them follow pratna. And the cause of the worship, the cow that is fire, milk, we call kheer, pudding, milk, kheer. This is where the rice is boiled and not water, sweet rice. Boiling it in water, we boil it in milk and different fruits. Sometimes people make kheer with pineapple, banana, different things. But something that is very nourishing, very rich. Let them give all these things. And after feeding and sharing all these different things, in a humble way, in a calm way, a person following the injunctions of how this type of worship should be done, they are going to gain great amount of blessings. During this time, O Kanha, what should a person offer you? What could be the best things to give you? And Krishna smiles down and he says, Rukmini, wood apple, dates, bananas, Indian grapes, mangoes, jackfruit, coconut, orange, pomegranate, rice, wheat, cooked in ghee, whole wheat, what we call mohan. It is really supposed, mohan bhog, which is the food. What does it mean? Bhog is food. Mohan is Krishna, another name for Krishna. It is really supposed to be made with barley flakes or gram, the healthy part of the wheat. Different type of wheats, O dear Devi. just as you would give me. But in it also, there are different types of cucumber, different types of bulb, or what we call the rhizome, ginger, radish. These types of things are also acceptable as well. When all types of bhaksha, bhojan, lekya, peya, the 4 types of food stuff that is offered in prayer. What these things mean? The natural one, the cooked one, the squeezed one, the juice, the pulp. These things, I am very happy. During this time, when a person, dear one, gives to me all these types of fruits and food, with the happiness, with the joy that I feel, this entire universe is going to feel happy and pleasantly comfortable. Therefore, by that type of pleasure, causing me that type of pleasure, my dear one, all forms of happiness, all forms of blessings are going to be endowed upon those people that are in need of help, that are in need of health, that are in need of any type of assistance. There's no doubt that whosoever, whether man or woman, there's no rule that says only men can do this. Please be clear. Whether man or woman performs the month of Adigmas, they shall joy. If I, Vishnu, Krsna, Purushottam, am not worshipped in this month, how can a person see upliftment in their life? How can a person be uplifted? Person see change? How can a person see benefit in this form, in this life? Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Sometimes when we are talking and planning, we need to be careful about what we want to instill in the next generation, in the younger ones. So, before I continue the next chapter, in today's world, we are bombarded with different messages, guidance, and encouragement to listen, to act in a particular way. Sometimes these guidance brings unity. Sometimes these guidance bring division. Sometimes these guidance put us on the right road, and sometimes these guidance put us on the wrong. So we are, for example, marketing strategies. Long ago, my grandmother would tell me the only soap that you use to wash clothes is Breeze or Skip. If she was using the washing machine, Skip was made specifically to save the machine. People were very loyal to the brand. People were very cognizant that all dishwashing liquid had to be squeezy, nothing else. And I'm raising this example for those of you that use such product or know such product to just consider what I'm saying. Now we live in a world where do people still go and buy those products? No, mama. No, mommy, don't buy that. What you are going to buy now is what you are shown. So people flash the new product, billboards, and screen on the TV, and ads on our phones, and so on. And you will hear somebody say, this is the popular brand. This is the new brand. This is the new technology, depending on what you're buying. You see it every day with young children and phones. 5 days ago, that phone you have in your hand was the new phone, and it was the best phone. As my nephew, they have to have phone. You have to listen from your life. And then 10 days pass, and then you have to have phone. The next phone is the have to have phone. You have to buy, so you buy with your eyes. So today's world, the consumer now push to buy what is the newest thing, the best thing, not necessarily the better thing. So what happens is, in this type of environment, people don't talk about showing control or getting the best item. people talk about getting the newest item. People no longer focus on the performance, but they focus on the brand, the look, the pick that I am style. So a disconnect that you see between the generations of grandparents long ago to now. Yes, we have money, but what are you doing with your money? What is your decision making? What are you judging when you buy or you spending money? What are you basing that on? Long ago, as my grandfather might say, this used to be the best dishwashing liquid. This used to be the best toothpaste. This used to be the best soap powder for washing clothes. It was the most reliable battery, so I would buy that brand. So I was loyal to that brand. Let's go one step further. Nowadays, people are also influenced in their behavior. The cool thing, the in thing, is to go and shop in the sneaker store. The in thing is to go and line somewhere or hang out in a particular way or wear your clothes in a particular way. At the end of the day, you see videos where people are going as a happy family, husband, wife, children, in these marketing strategies, and they're going to the mall and they're buying fast food and all these things. How many videos do you see of family cabbage or tomatoes as a responsible family? Think how many people nowadays, today, in a time when we could read and write, how many people walk into a library? Or how many people are walking into things that they don't need that are substandard, etc. Our behavior tonight, this that I am doing, is to show you we as Hindus, coming back to us, how people use any excuse. Oh, I heard a trip back to zombie time, so I'm not going to heard it is as bad, I'm not going to fast. Check scarce now because now I need to eat chicken. And use not to do things. Not to go in the right place, to get the prasad or to do something that might be able to. As I said at the beginning, many people are getting COVID, getting sick, many people are losing their job. You think the same amount of people pray? Are you praying? Tonight, I want to encourage you. I want to remind you. Think about what I'm saying. When people couldn't read, a library was a big thing. To get a library in Maruga, to get a library in Princess Town, to get a library around you was a big thing. For in days when people, because of racial differences, you couldn't go in the library. To get into the library, that was a big thing. Now we have the rights faith. Now we have the ability to read. How many people go into the library? But we make time to go in other places. Likewise, how many people are influencing you to do the right? As a Hindu, do the right thing, to pray. How many people are getting up and saying, you know what, as the head of this home, I think things are going bad with many people with COVID. I'm seeing people are losing their jobs. We are afraid of the budget in Trinidad with what's coming. I'm afraid of what is going to happen. I'm afraid my child may not get to go to university, to get a degree, to fall into certain programs. I'm afraid, for all these children that did well in the exam, God bless everybody. How many people are remembering they get up and say, dear God, thanks for letting me pass that exam. Dear Lord, you allowed me to do it. I know I couldn't do maths, but you allowed me to pass with a 1 in maths. Thank you. How many people are encouraging you to do that tonight? I am doing it. If you would only listen. If you would only take the guidance to do the popular thing. Pray. Popular thing. Be a good Hindu. Do it. What you're doing, don't just do it and stups. Do it with a good mind. Be responsible. This is the message of Lord Krsna tonight. And he continues in this short chapter. He says, if a digmas comes and a man presents himself in a place that is holy, and I explained that holiness obviously is Ganga and Jamuna and all these other places in India. But if you can't travel, Baba, the only places could be where Bhagavad Gita is kept, where Bhagavad Puran, Skan Puran, Padma Puran, Bhagavad Gita is being read. where the Shaligram is being kept, where the Bhagavad Gita is kept. So that could be your home, devotees. If a person in a place like that should give different type of dan, so dan could be food. There are many people that are asking for help. There are many people, whilst we are dry, in some places people are wet, they're flooded. Help people. In following all your protocols and everything, please. Don't get me wrong. In these times, in this way, many people have done this in the past. At one point, Shankar Bhagwan wanted to destroy a particular demon. And Mahadev had done a Digmas birth. On the Ekadasi day in that month, around the Ashwin time when it had come, Mahadev had fasted from sleep. Jagarana, he does that type of prayer where he's waking, similar to what we do for Shivratri. Lord Shiva wakes and he gives this to the Lord Vishnu on this Ekadasi day when we do his breath, his puja. And what it gave to Lord Shiva was the ability to be successful in his pursuit. When he did go to the battle, just like how me and you go for tests, go for inspection, go for the exam, you name it, the interview, the visa appointment, whatever, mortgage appointment, Lord Shiva is given success. Because as you know, sometimes you could be the best driver, but when that car comes to hit you, you alone know. You could be the healthiest person and cancer could come. You could be the most secluded person and COVID could come. You could be the best worker and you could lose your job. Things happen regardless of your strengths. Lord Shiva is one of the most powerful forms, Rukmani. But had he not done the right thing, the right outcome would not have been assured. So he leads by example, just like our parents should be doing at home. And he gives this sacrifice, this vrat. There are other types of vrat like this, devotees. Do you know of any? What do you do? What do you sacrifice for God? Only meat? You could do more. Some people sacrifice water, who could do that? Niljal vrat. Women, a common thing that some do when problems in marriage. Maun vrat, people stay quiet. People, yes, they fast from salt. Some people, when we have dead and funeral time, we fast from all root, all shoot, different types of plants as well. Not only salt, but there are more things we fast from. People practice the vow or the vrat of celibacy, where they fast from their spouse. People do different things, all for the benefit and the blessings of the Lord. Let's do another example of who did this. Rukmini wants to know who, another person who gained great benefit. He who performs adoration to Lord Vishnu, the aquatic procession every day, that is done. That is when they have their festivals of India. Certain people go there to see. Just by seeing, they have different blessings. That person will get children, happiness, longevity, health, etc. All are open to him. Once a person did this, Bhagirath, the guy who brings Ganga to the earth, Jatiswar, Maheshwar, in that place, to the east of where we are, Rukmini, that person had done great amount of dan. Food was shared in, and then he goes on to do the breath where he wants to bring Ganga, where he takes the posture. His hands are together like this over his head, one foot, and the other foot is like this on his knee. That type of tapasya, where he is in mudra, where he is using different postures in his body to gain the blessings of Lord Shiva. And because of his dhyan that he did in Adigmas, he to not only have the dip in the tirat of the Ganga, but he brings Ganga to the earth. What was different with this person, because his family had already tried this, he did in the month of Adigmas, there's a book called Samba Puran. This is where Samba, the son of Lord Krishna, the text where it describes how he had prayed when he had gotten sick. Long story short. In that text, it gives the different Gaudan that is done. In reference, it says that her gives something called till denu, a cow. Imagine you have a container and you have till. Most of the time for this we use white till, and they draw like an emblem of a cow or the face of a cow. And this is given in the Shraddha or the Gyan or the Yagna, the finishing of the Yagna, just as how in today's world we might put it in a plastic bag, and then we see that for the pundit we say, Baba, look some prayer stuff and so on. At the end of his Yagna, what he did was he gave till with the pitié or the frame of a cow. And by that simple single act, he was able that whatever he entered into, whatever vrat, whatever endeavor, he would be successful. And this was the difference between him and his father, his grandfather that had gone and had prayed. They were all praying very ardently. But this is what made the difference. And this is why he was successful, Rukmani. To the northeast of this place, in the family of that person,